What's up guys, Dark Valley here, and today I'm building, but I'm not building structures, I'm building weapons with the mod Wacky Weapons Workshop. Now with this mod, it's not hard to make some really crazy weapons, and it's, you know, a little harder to make weapons that look and perform well because, well, the mod was not made to, you know, create awesome badass weapons to use. It was made to, you know, test resources for mods and see how things work together. That said, you know, a lot of the weapons don't necessarily look great. You know, if you put a missile launcher barrel on a pistol, it's not going to look or function right. So making a gun that looks good, functions good, you know, that's still pretty darn doable. What I've done is I've gone through and I've spent probably 10 to 15 hours sifting through every combination I could think of to come up with guns that are actually remarkable. Now, before I get to that, today I am in a new sanctuary settlement. A viewer suggested that it would be cool if I started with a flat sanctuary with absolutely nothing and just completely, you know, built a city or whatever. And so that's what I've been working on here. Now, the structures here right now are temporary, and this will be in a future video, whatever I decide to do here. But yeah, so if you're wondering why it's so flat like a prairie, it's because this is my clean sanctuary I'll be building at. So here's some of the weapons that I've come up with. Now, these are not just, again, these are not just, you know, like semi-cool weapons. These all have something very, very cool with them. Well, two of them do anyway. And those are the ones I'm going to be going over. First, this one's kind of cool. This is really not much. This is just a deliverer. But what I've done is I found a sight that works really well on it. That's why I want to show. This is the lever reflex sight. It's hard to line up sights with guns that they don't belong on, but this actually lines up perfect. Now, the reason I say this is remarkable is because the deliverer, I don't like the sights it has. It has no reflex sight. The best sights you can get are those glow sights. I do not like those. That's personal preference. So this is kind of cool. It's just a deliverer, you know, all the default parts with a lever action reflex sight. And so yeah, that's a very, very simple thing you can create with the Wacky Weapons Workshop. You could just throw this on there and bam, you got a deliverer with a reflex sight. I'm a reflex sight guy. All my guns have reflex sights except for my sniper because I'm just a big, big fan of it. Now, one thing I do want to mention about Wacky Weapons Workshop is it can conflict with other mods and cause it to act a lot differently. I've been moving it around in my load order and it hasn't affected the mod, but when I first downloaded it, I was running immersive gameplay, and that changed the way Wacky Weapons works a lot. So that said, there may be other mods that changes the way it works. So some of these guns, if you want to make them, may not work for you the way that they work for me. Now, the next most remarkable gun, this really isn't much, but it's kind of cool. This is just, you know, a little step up from the deliverer. This is kind of cool. It's all hunting rifle parts, except I put a shotgun magazine and suppressor on it, and it works well. And the reason I did that is I just wanted a sniper rifle with a beefier look. Functionally, it's completely the same. It sounds the same. It works the same. This is just kind of a cool little idea here. Now, okay, now to the really actually cool ones. Both of these guns here have something truly remarkable about them. Let's start with this one. This is an SMG that I made. I wanted a small compact weapon that fires very fast. As you can see, the fire rate is 222, which is only about 50 short of a minigun. Now, because of that, I've gone ahead and edited the legendary effects, and I gave it never ending. The reason I did that is because you'd be reloading this thing every couple seconds if you didn't do that. Now, you know, you may say, well, you could put a bigger magazine on it. I could put a bigger magazine on it, but I like the look of the medium shotgun magazine just because it fits the flow of the gun and keeps it nice and compact looking. I also put the rapid to get more speed. Let me take it out here and test fire it. Because I wanted an SMG that fires fast. You know, it sounds, it feels like an SMG, and the sights, now the barrel is a 10mm barrel, and that does kind of obstruct your view, but as you can see, it It actually almost makes it easier to aim because the aiming point is directly above the barrel. Alright, so I came out here so that we can check it out, the way it looks. As you can see, and I'm doing this because if you mess with Wacky Weapons Workshop, then you know that some weapons look different. Like, they'll look fine, you know, in here in the pause menu, they look fine, but then when you actually equip on your character, parts start floating and, you know, things like that. And this gun is totally sound. Now, let's go and I will show what makes this remarkable, how I got the fire rate, and, you know, the other things about it and other parts you can put on it and the effects that they will have. Okay, the first thing is, this is built on the frame of a submachine gun. The reason being, when you put the base weapon as a submachine gun, it'll set that as the fire rate. Now, I say that because you notice it has a shotgun rapid automatic receiver, which doesn't have that fast a fire rate. I believe the fire rate's like, it's less than 90 for sure. It's a pretty slow automatic firing rate. However, if you start with the base of a submachine gun, it sets it a base at like 127 because that's the fire rate for a submachine gun. And for some reason, now I scrolled through all the receivers, for some reason, this one receiver right here I'll sift through them. Now those numbers are higher because of the legendary mod I have, but for some reason, when I get to the shotgun rapid automatic receiver, the fire rate jumps up. Yeah, as you can see, for some reason that's the fastest receiver to match with the submachine gun. So putting that on there is what really sped it up, and then of course I put the rapid, don't forget that legendary effect on it. That's why that fire rate appears so high. But for some reason, submachine gun base with the shotgun rapid automatic receiver makes it fire stupid fast. Now, for the barrel, I really like this barrel. I've used this on a lot of guns. It gives them a nice bulky, chubby kind of look that I really like, and that's personal preference. I found that this sight works fairly well, even though, like I said, the barrel kind of obstructs the view. It still aims, works, functions just fine, and actually I think it's kind of handy. Yeah, puts where it fires directly over the top of the barrel. Suppressor. Okay, this one actually kind of matters. I use the hunting suppressor. Now, I think it's a function of... I'm not sure if it's a function of the submachine gun. I think it's a function of this other suppressor. I'm going to show you. Because the suppressor you put on will affect certain ways that the projectiles look. I did originally have a handmade suppressor on it, which is right here, which I think is a cool look. This was the original suppressor, and it makes it look cool, but it also, yeah, it has enormous, crazy muzzle flash, and I'm not sure you want that in the way, so that's why I chose the hunting suppressor. So that's, you know, the ins and outs of this gun here. You know, so it fires really fast, it's nice and quiet, it sounds like submachine guns from a lot of other games, you know. Now this guy right here is also incredibly unique. I wanted an energy weapon that wasn't loud. That's one thing that's always bugged me about the energy weapons in this game, is they are freaking loud. It's, you know, I wanted one that just made a quiet, you know, like buzzing kind of energy sound when it fired. And I wanted one that was an assault rifle. Now that said, you may not like the look of this. I like short, stubby weapons. It's maybe too short for you, and there are options. There are ways to extend the barrel and keep the same look. But there's a lot of theory and calculation behind the design of this weapon. Let me go ahead and fire, and I'll show you why this weapon is remarkable in several ways. So it uses the base of a plasma rifle in the receiver and the stock. You may notice it has a flamethrower magazine. There's a couple reasons for that. Notice it's pretty quiet. It doesn't echo like the plasma and laser receivers. I like the projectiles, of course, you know, that's completely changeable. Okay, so right there is one reason why I chose the flamethrower magazine. Because the reload actually kind of meshes with the receiver. Because this is not a plasma this gun is not based on a plasma rifle. I'll show you what it's based on. Without that magazine bay is empty, and it just doesn't look right. So this fills the magazine bay and meshes with the reload animation, which I like. The other reason is the magazine size, and that's where some things came into conflict designing this weapon, is it's got a fairly fast rate of fire of 136. So that's, you know, a little fat, you know, that's a high-end automatic receiver. So it needs a decent sized magazine. Now, the combination of the magazine and the barrel both affect the magazine size in the case of this weapon because it's an energy weapon. Different barrels and magazines were shifted around the magazine size, and this felt right. Projectile I'm using is laser blue. I like it because it shoots. I just like the look of that straight laser beam. Now, you probably already noticed the sound and linked it with the Institute rifle. If you use the Institute rifle as your base, if it's automatic, it will sound like that. If it's semi-auto, it will be loud. So if you want a quiet energy weapon, the only way to do it is to base it off of an Institute rifle and have it automatic. Okay, now the second trick to this. This has no automatic parts on it. You may notice it has no automatic parts, so how did I make it automatic? That is a cool little trick. There's actually a muzzle right here, the gamma signal repeater, which will make any gun you put on automatic. The only other way to make this automatic would be to put an automatic barrel on. I did not like the look of any of the automatic barrels. They also tended to really lower the ammo capacity to practically next to nothing. Now I use this gamma signal repeater. Now one problem with it, it's fucking ugly. Let's go to barrels and let's get a... Okay, see, there it is on the end of the barrel. That's because it's meant for the gamma gun. It attaches the gamma gun, so when you put it on a normal gun, it puts it on the end of the barrel. So pretty much any barrel you put, it attaches this ugly ass thing on the end. So you're able to have an automatic weapon with no automatic parts, but you got to have this ugly ass thing on the end. So that gives this weapon a couple barrel choices to hide that. This is the barrel I ended up using right here, the Radium Standard barrel. For some reason, keeps the muzzle attachment, but has no actual graphic. And there's a few other barrels like that. This has just been my go-to. I know where to find it in the list because this list is about 2 miles long. The Radium Standard barrel is one that it's my go-to. There are other ones, but you see a lot of other ones that don't have actual graphic for the barrel still show that ugly ass thing. So this is a good one for that. Now maybe you don't like the look of this. Maybe you want this a little longer. There are other ways to do that. If we go all the way to the bottom of the list here, we can just scroll up a little bit and find the plasma sniper barrel, which completes the look of the rifle. It also hides that ugly ass thing. Let's go ahead and put this on. But it messes with 42, so you know, it messes with the ammo capacity a little bit. It also messes with the graphic of the way it fires. Because the barrel is now plasma, let's go out of town where I can show you from the outside. Okay, so scroll around here. With the sniper barrel, let's point this way. With the sniper barrel, it's going to add that. And I don't think it meshes well with the rifle. I like the look of this. I like the look of that straight blue laser hitting the... It just looks cool. This may be for some people. Lowered ammo capacity, different firing graphic. But personally, I like it short and stubby. So those are the two, you know, mainly unique weapons that I've come up with and why they are unique. So to recap, putting the gamma signal repeater on any weapon more or less is going to make it automatic. I have encountered some problems with weapons. In fact, there was one weapon I put it on where, what was it? It was some kind of bolt action weapon that when I put it on there, it would actually, if you were aiming and firing, it would actually get stuck firing. And you could put the controller down and the weapon would still be firing. So that was a bit of a glitch. But more or less, the gamma signal repeater will make a weapon which is semi, it will make it into full auto. You just got to find a barrel that covers up, you know, or makes that ugly graphic of it disappear. The Flamer magazine is a great addition to the plasma rifle because it meshes with the magazine bay, you know, more or less. It makes the reload animation look acceptable, even though, sure, it clips through the sight, big deal. And then this here, and this one is remarkable because something with the combination of a submachine gun base with a the the auto shotgun receiver makes it fire really, really fast. And so it made it a cool little submachine gun. Now, I would have rather had a different buttstock on this, but there's a problem. It can be difficult finding a buttstock to match some of these guns, like the shotgun, like the combat rifle, like the hunting rifle. It's difficult to find a stock that matches them because their stock is also the entire handguard, and the part that covers the action and everything else is all part of the stock. So putting any other stock on these will, you'll have missing parts in the graphics everywhere else. Oh, and of course, I forgot, using the Institute rifle as a base and then making it automatic will give you that really cool energy sound that I like to hear so much. I think this sounds a lot more like an energy weapon, you know what I mean? Alright guys, so that's my short little thing on some of the more remarkable weapons I've made with this. Hopefully the addiction is over and I can put down Wacky Weapons Workshop. If you guys haven't played with it, be aware that if you like to build and try different combinations of things like I do, you may become addicted to it. The first night I downloaded it, I was up till 3 in the morning, and my left thumb actually still hurts from pushing up and down on the D-pad. Scrolling through those endless lists so many times, my thumb kind of has a bruise on it. So beware of addiction level and getting sucked away from your life if you like to design weapons. These are my unique combinations. Guys, let me know what you think. It's been a pleasure. My name is Dark Dally. Don't forget to subscribe for more content. I will catch you all next time.